My wife's boyfriend got me this cool phone case. By pressing this button, it automatically charges your phone in seconds. You can pick the perfect phone case for you with over 30 amazingly cool designs, none of which will impress your wife while she's out cheating on you. God damn! I'm incredibly sorry about that unprofessional outburst. I can't let my personal life get into my business, especially considering how sacred this YouTube channel is. I mean, for God's sake, we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so hit subscribe and like down below before this video starts, because you know it's going to be a banger. And today we're going to be talking about the most popular acronym in e-commerce and dropshipping in 2022, which is UGC. So what is it? How do we use it? And most importantly, how do we make money from it? So UGC is the lifeblood. It is the pulse of most e-commerce brands advertising on TikTok and Facebook. But how do we actually execute it at a high level? Because there's a lot of people doing UGC, but their ads are still not that great. And it can be very, very expensive if you don't get the right content and you're sending out products to a ton of different influencers. So I would say the first step to getting into the right direction of getting great UGC is first having a script that you send out word for word to all creators that are filming with your product. Because in my experience, when you give a UGC creator who doesn't have a lot of marketing experience, they don't have e-commerce experience, they're just good in front of the camera, and you say, hey, sell my product, they don't know how to do that. They know how to look pretty with it. They know how to use your product, but they don't know the main benefits. They don't understand marketing. They don't understand call to action. So a lot of the time you need to give them word for word the exact script they need to be saying so that they don't mess up and make a terrible UGC ad for you. So when I'm trying to get great UGC for any product that I'm selling, so let's say this ice cream making machine, you first need to understand what format works the best for the platform you're advertising on. So for me, because I love TikTok, I know the best frameworks after studying thousands of ads are a problem, finding product, two benefits, a transformation, and a call to action. Now, each one of these is a specific scene in the actual ad. So for problem, that's going to be my hook. And I really want to identify what is the biggest problem my customer has. Now, for an ice cream making machine, it's not going to be a huge issue. This is a nice to have product. So I basically say, hey, do you want to make yummy ice cream at home? Well, with this amazing product, so I introduce my product, you can do that in seconds. And then I mentioned two benefits. Hey, you just do this, you do this. It's so easy to do. You can get amazing result after using product. And now the transformation is I can make ice cream whenever I want. And this can be applied to any product, a sleep product. Hey, are you having trouble sleeping at night? Well, this amazing sleep band helps you sleep in seconds by playing your favorite music. Here's some more benefits. Here's my transformation. I can finally sleep now after all these years. Call to action. If you want better sleep, try this out. Now, another tip for getting great UGC is having a shotgun-like approach. I would never recommend sending a product to an influencer and only getting one ad back because it can be pretty hit or miss. So for me, I like to do about 3 to 4 ad scripts that are word for word what I want my influencer to say, because again, your influencer doesn't have any marketing experience. They don't know how to sell e-commerce products, so you need to give them the main benefits and the exact words. And obviously, they can play around and say the lines in their own way because everyone says it differently, but you don't want them to go off script because every line is for a specific reason. You shouldn't have someone that says, okay, I'll say this line and then I'll do my call to action as the second line, because influencers will do that if you don't give them the specific directions. But you give them, let's say 3, 4 different ad scripts, you have them read word for word. And if you want to take it up another level, you will actually write in the notes for each line what you want them to shoot as this scene. So to get amazing UGC and just to help your influencer understand your product and what you want from the ad more, obviously you'll write out your script word for word of what they're supposed to say, but then you can add after this. All right, so want to make yummy ice cream at home? That's the first line. And here's what I want you to film. I want you to film yourself enjoying yummy ice cream. That makes the most sense to me. Not just, I don't know, filming your kitchen and you're just eating dinner. That doesn't make sense as the first scene, but sometimes influencers don't know what is the best hook. So if you give them the exact directions, like, hey, I want you to be eating ice cream on your couch or with your family, like with a smile on your face as the opening scene, because that's going to get people's attention. Then for the next line, with this amazing soft serve maker, you can do it in seconds. Well, should probably be a clip of you using this product, putting in some fruit into it, and showing that it can make ice cream. Any clip outside of that just doesn't make sense. But again, if you don't give specific directions, your influencer can sometimes totally mess this up. And I would say another way to ensure that you get amazing UGC content from whatever influencer you're working with is give them ad inspiration. Don't just send the product, send them some lines and say, hey, all right, film content. No, you have to give them the exact clip ideas and inspiration, because otherwise they're going to be sort of left in the dark. So for me, whenever I send out a product, I will show them clips and ads that I have made based on content that's already out there. So, hey, here's some inspiration. We got some good clips using the product. It looks nice. And these are good clip inspiration for my influencer when they receive the product, because then they can see, oh, I can film a clip like this, or I can film a clip like this, or I can try to make this better by doing this instead of what they did. In fact, I have a whole folder of all the clips that I find on TikTok, on YouTube for my product that I'm going to be sending out, so that they get the full understanding of what's been done, how they can improve, and just get inspiration in general. So let's take a look at one of the ads that my influencer team did make. Now, this influencer, I believe this is the first product she ever made ads for me. And whenever you work with an influencer for the first time, the first ads they make are never going to be perfect. You're going to have to give them feedback. You're going to have to get on meetings. You're going to say, hey, I think that you could have done better with this clip. Can you film a clip of this instead? This B-roll? Are you saying this instead? Because it's never going to be perfect. So let's review this ad right here. It's an ice cream maker, and she's going to do an unboxing type angle for it.
When I tell you I've been waiting for this, I've been waiting for this, and I am so excited it's finally here.
I would say, first off, with that hook, this first clip right here, it's extraneous. She's saying the exact same thing in this clip as she does in the next clip, that I've been waiting for this. So saying it twice doesn't make a lot of sense. I would have cut the first 2 seconds because you already lost me there.
I've been waiting for this, and I am so excited it's finally here. So this machine is going to take frozen fruit and turn it into soft serve. So now I can enjoy this anytime at home.
Pretty good. Then she's got the end result. I would say for the end scene, way too far away from the camera. I can't see the ice cream. I mean, is she enjoying it? Yes, but it could have been a better angle. It could have been the camera a little higher, pointing down, so we can actually see the ice cream, seeing her eat it. This doesn't look great in my opinion. Overall, there were some good moments though, so her enthusiasm was really good, but the clips, a little bit low quality. This unboxing scene I think was the best one. Then when we're seeing the product and using it, it takes a few seconds. Like, she puts the product down at around 8 seconds, and then it takes 3 seconds of putting a plate, like having a plate under there. And this was the exact scene. Like, if we're doing with this amazing soft serve machine, you can make ice cream in seconds, they're going to put a plate under the machine and not actually show it in use. And that happens all the time. So you have to give them exact directions. A lot of times, exact notes about, all right, for this line, this is the scene that it needs to be. I don't want you to put a plate under the machine, because that's just going to lose people's attention. And that's something you'll notice a lot with creators. They will have scenes that are boring and you're like, oh, oof, as a marketer, you can't have that in there. It's going to be too boring. People aren't going to watch the rest of the ad. So again, it takes a lot of feedback, and even when you give them a lot of inspiration, just know it's never going to be perfect the first time. And the final thing before I move on to my next point, when you are getting UGC, make sure that the ads feel different from each other, which means you should have different hooks, different benefits, and different clips. And a lot of times when you work with influencers and you're going cheap with it, they will reuse the same clips and your ads won't feel different enough, so that when you're testing, let's say the 2 to 3 ads that you are requesting from your influencer, the results are going to be pretty similar because they have the same frameworks, they have the same clips. So always make sure when you are doing the preparation phase, have different scripts in place that have different formats. So if in one ad you're talking about a problem, in the next one talk about just a hook and then benefits. Just get straight into the point with things, but each ad should feel different. So with this video, I got my influencer eating ice cream, and then she shows the machine that makes the ice cream, then shows a demonstration clip. Then, oh, we got some caramel in here. We have the unboxing angle. So she's unboxing it, she's using it for the first time, super excited, and then we get the end result of her eating ice cream. So these ads do feel different. In some aspects, they do have, I think, 1 or 2 clips that are the same, but definitely have enough differentiation to perform differently in ad accounts. Now, when you're getting UGC for your e-commerce or dropshipping brand, where do you actually find the influencers to shoot content? Well, it depends on your budget, and if you do got a little bit of cash and you want to splash it, I would say the best place to get high quality, proven, more polished influencers is going to be on Billo. It's about $100 for a 30-second ad, which for me is a little bit expensive if you ask me. But hey, maybe you got dough like that. And there's also the TikTok creator marketplace where you can specify the amount of followers, the niche of that influencer. So that's another great option. But if you're on a budget and you're trying to get, let's say, $30 to $40 per ad, I would say you need to get a less polished influencer that's most likely going to be on Fiverr, on Twitter, on TikTok. pretty much UGC creators are everywhere. They're on social media and you just have to look up the keywords. So on Fiverr, we look up UGC video ads. If we can see a ton of different influencers like this girl right here, she looks great, $75. And obviously if you put in your budget, I'm sure you can get to $30, $40. If you go into Twitter, you look up UGC creators. There are so many of them on Twitter and it's amazing. This is a huge community where they're all following each other. So you can go into their following, see they all have UGC in their name and you can go through them, see which person has the right age, the face, everything that you're looking for, and is also specializing in your niche. And a lot of the times they are going to be your most affordable and proven option. You can also find UGC creators on TikTok. You'll just look up UGC creator and there's tons of people making these videos. And a lot of times I wouldn't recommend partnering with the people making the videos, but you go in their comment sections and you'll see a lot of interesting prospects. So Jen right here, she's asking a question. Clearly she's a UGC creator, doesn't have a ton of followers, but again, very young. She looks very cute. So maybe if you're selling a beauty product, she would be the perfect one to go to because she doesn't have a lot of followers. I mean, what, 500? So you don't really need to worry about that being a big negotiating thing. In fact, for me, I actually like creators that don't have a lot of followers because they're typically the most affordable and they will work with you because they don't have many other options. Now, real quick, this video is sponsored by my agency, Blue Ocean Digital Miami. So if you want a team of experts to find winning, hot, relevant dropshipping products right now for you and test them on custom coded one product stores and have my much improved and much trained influencer team film UGC custom content for all products that we are testing to maximize your chance of success, then you can book a call down below and see how we can help you scale your first or next winning dropshipping product. Now, as an e-commerce brand, how much should you pay per ad to your UGC creators? Now, this definitely depends on a lot of different variables. If you're asking your UGC creator to receive your product, film content, and that's it, that's typically going to be the lowest price option. But if you're also wanting them to post it on their feed, that's going to depend on the amount of followers they have. Now, for me personally, I don't care about followers. I really don't think that's important. And a lot of times people with a lot of followers don't make the greatest content. That is not the best barometer for it. So I would say the average range for someone who's a beginner UGC creator, it can vary from around $30 to $80 an ad. But if you're working with someone who has been in the game for a while, let's say a couple years and also has a good amount of followers, that's probably going to be around $150 to $500. So it really depends on who you want to work for. If you're trying to do the budget option, I would say the best way to go is find UGC creators on TikTok, on Twitter. You go through these. A lot of them are very new. Now, with this one, Sarah, who has 30,000 followers, she's going to charge you at least $300, $400 per ad, at least. But if you go through comment sections on TikTok for UGC creators, and let's just go in here for a second. So Ashley, UGC creator, 1,000 followers, very beautiful, very talented. Obviously, you want to go through her videos and see what her skills are like. But I would say she's probably going to charge closer to $30 to $50. And it's going to take a lot of negotiating and interviewing, and a lot of times when you do find a creator that you like, how do you actually evaluate their skills outside of their portfolio? Well, what I would personally recommend is find your product. If you're an e-commerce brand, you already have your product that you're selling. If you're a dropshipper, then you can just find a product or two that you're interested in selling. Send that to the UGC creator and you can do a trial with them. And typically for trials, I pay about $20 per video they film, and I want them to film around 3 videos for the product that they're making with 3 completely different ad scripts to get a feel for what clips do they come up with. And I don't like to give them a ton of direction. I like to see what their natural skills are. So a lot of times I'll just give them the exact ad script. So as you can see right here, I got 3 ad scripts for this weighted blanket, and I want to see what clips are they filming? How is their editing? How are their voiceover skills? Because if you're giving them all the direction in the world, then it's almost impossible to see how they're going to adapt and improvise when you don't have the luxury of giving them all the information. Now, when you're making the decision to work with a UGC creator for the first time and you're doing, let's say, a trial, you have to be on top of them when it comes to hitting deadlines, because with influencers, they're pretty notorious for not hitting deadlines and not being the most organized. I know it's hyper generalized. There's obviously great UGC creators out there, but there's a lot of them that are teenagers. They're young adults. They wake up at 3 p.m. They eat their ramen noodles. They go on TikTok and then they go to bed. So when you're trying to actually organize them and just make sure your ads hit the deadline, what I would recommend is using a project management software or just Trello, for instance. And I would create an individual board for the influencer you're working on. So let's say Jennifer, and then I have all these different sections where, okay, product 1 has been assigned to Jennifer. Now I ordered it from Amazon. It's going to take 2 days to arrive. All right, it's arrived at their house. They've confirmed that. Now I would give them around 2 to 3 days to film the ads that you've assigned. After that, They will submit the content to you, usually in a Google Drive folder. You check it out, and if it needs revisions, you let them know, and you put this in the revisions tab. But if the ads are solid, they don't need any tweaks, you make it go to approved column, and that's how you're going to organize a lot of your influencers. Now, if your e-commerce brand is working with a team of UGC content creators, I would recommend using Monday.com to track their different performances and make sure you're hitting deadlines, because again, when you're working with UGC creators, they again are very notorious for late responses and almost never hitting deadlines. Again, I know I'm generalizing, but what I would recommend here, so let's say I got a board for each one of my influencers here, and then we can get all the products that we're assigning to them. So I, again, work as an agency, so I get a ton of different products I send out to my influencers. So we'll add a product to the board of our influencer, and because they've been added to Monday, they automatically get notified each time a new product has been added. Now, after that is done, we have different sections. So, hey, did we order the product? Awesome. And then when the influencer receives the product, they will mark it as product received, or they'll let us know, and then we'll mark it as product received. Then they're going to shoot content, and once that has been done, they will let us know. And what they can do is click on open and deposit the files right here, so they get the Google Drive folder with all the ads that they filmed. We can check it out. It's all in one place. It's super easy. And we also have different deadlines, so the influencer knows exactly when the due date is for this content. We can see the timeline of how long did it take. Did we hit our deadline specifically, so that you know if an influencer is trustworthy or not. So in this example, I sent out this product on August 22nd. It was due a week later, which I would say is pretty reasonable when you're working with the influencers. Give them about a week, and this depends if you're obviously sending the product out with Amazon, which I would always recommend do. So find the Amazon link. It usually takes 2 days with Prime, so they'll receive it, let's say on the 24th, and 5 days to film content is plenty of time. So they should honestly get that ad to you by the 26th. You look at it, ask for revisions a lot of times, ask for new clips, B-roll, stuff like that. And by the 29th, they should be getting it done. Now that we've done all the learning, let's get our cigars, get our monocles, and start critiquing these ads and see if they are up to our standards. So the first product we're going to review ads for is this wearable blanket. So I sent this out to my influencers, the same influencer real quick, and we gave her 3 unique ad scripts. Let's actually take a look. So got trouble sleeping, just hop in this weighted sleep pod. So again, I'm going to have my influencers say this in their own words, because a lot of times it kind of feels weird and a little salesy, the lines that we write. In fact, that's something I'm personally working on, trying to make the lines seem a little more human and authentic, because people on TikTok can definitely read authenticity, and a great UGC ad will be authentic. It will feel real. The enthusiasm should be like, oh my God, I'm getting a product that I've really wanted for a long time. Like, I've got a new PS5, but really it's this hush pod. But for every product that the UGC creator is reviewing, it should feel like this is a product they've been waiting for years. So let's see if we get that vibe from my influencer right here with the hush pod.
Are you tired of tossing and turning at night? Ready to say goodbye to sleepless nights? If so, you need this sleep pod.
Oof. Editing, a little rough. I would say, again, this was in the beginning for sure. So how would I improve this? I would say the hook. Definitely, she needs to be more in frame. There's so much empty space. So again, needs to be a little more zoomed in. And let's read this hook, and let's hear it. Let's really get our ears on.
Are you tired of tossing and turning at night?
I would say the tonality feels a little off. I would say it could be a little jollier, although it is talking about a problem. So like, hey, are you struggling with tossing and turning at night? It just sounds a little more friendly, a little more authentic. This one feels scripty, and that's a feeling you're going to get with a lot of UGC creators. When you're determining if you want to work with an influencer for the long term, a lot of times that's a big thing. Does it feel like they're reading off a script, or are they really making this their own?
The material is so soft and comfortable. It's like a weighted blanket, but better.
I would say that was probably her best line right there, where she's looking around. It looks authentic. It looks like she's got some sort of secret going on. It's like a weighted blanket, but better.
It's also super thin and has this cooling effect, which is great for the summer. I'm finally going to get some well-needed rest, but the link is in the bio.
I would say that call to action was also really good. It felt very authentic. It didn't feel super forced or fake. So there were some good elements and there were some bad elements. The hook could be better. I would say in general, the lighting could have been a little better. It feels a little, I don't know, gray and dark. It doesn't feel super TikTok-y, but it's nice that it's vertical. She picked some pretty good music. The voiceover didn't seem that bad. I think there was a little bit of hiccups of sorts with some of the lines, but let's see what other ads we got here for this exact product.
3 reasons why I love my sleep pod over my weighted blanket.
And another thing, and this is something we work with our influencers, but we do have editors on our team. I would recommend when you're getting content from UGC creators to get 2 types of files. One, where they don't put any text on screen so that you can edit it and put whatever words you want. And 2, have a version where they are putting the lines of text in the actual ad so that it stands out, because this ad might not stand out without text. In fact, I would never recommend really using or testing an ad without having text on screen, because a lot of users on TikTok do not have their volume on. So you should have text just in case for those people.
This thing hugs your whole entire body, so it's helped with my anxiety so much. I personally love.
So it's weird. I would say the volume difference between that clip and the next one is very, very noticeable. So that's something that we would have to work on with the influencer, telling them that, hey, the voiceover needs to be consistent. It can't have an amazing tonality up here and then down here in the next clip. It just feels a little weird.
Entire body, so it's helped with my anxiety so much. I personally love the material, and it's so thin that it'll keep you cool during the summer. It's also so easy to travel with.
That cut, I would say, was a little rough. There was a little bit of space. It didn't flow, and there's a certain flow that really good creators have where it's just like bang, bang, bang with each clip. And then there's some where the editing, you can tell when they're a little more raw, and personally, that's the creators I like to work with. I know I can train them and really get them good. So personally, you're going to have to work out the little kinks. So again, let's review this. There was a little bit of a kink between this clip ending and the next clip starting.
Keep you cool during the summer. It's also...
Yeah, there was like an extra second there, and it's got to flow with TikTok. It's got to be continuous. So let's see the rest though.
So easy to travel with, so I can take it with me on the go. Now I know you all want to try this, so I linked it in the bio.
Call to actions are good. The clip usage, let's actually see real quick. So we got different clips. Her on the couch, I would say her in the bed makes sense. Her on the floor, very interesting choice. I would say I would not have done that. Okay, portable, it's a good angle, makes sense. Her showing a bag. But yeah, I would have liked to see her on a bed, and that's probably something I should have put in the notes that, hey, for this exact scene. So let's actually go to our script here. So let's say you can just curl up and sleep like a baby. That would make sense in bed, like zoomed in on her face in bed. And she's literally saying that like maybe in a sleepy voice, like you can just curl up and sleep like a baby. So there's ways on both sides of things where we could have helped out the influencer a little more. And when you are the brand owner, you got to take responsibility. I know for me, when I'm working with my influencer team, we have to take responsibility. If their ads are not up to par, then it's usually just because of a lack of training and feedback. So again, with that, it could have been a little better. And I actually want to show you another one where I felt like the ads were definitely not up to par. So these Super Mario slippers, and again, test this at the risk of your own wallet and money. What I'm trying to say is basically this is not going to be a winner for you. But we did test this a few months ago with this influencer. I don't even think they're working with us anymore. So let's get into the scripts that we have here. I surprised my sis with these just because. And then we got Remember Super Mario. Of course you do. There's a lot of different angles here. So let's see. We got If You Love Super Mario, you're going to love these Piranha Plant Slippers.
To love these Piranha Plant Slippers.
Doing the text-to-speech, which is perfectly fine. In some cases, we actually do have our UGC creators don't say anything with the narration. Sometimes we just do text-to-speech. And with a product like this that is a non-problem solver, it's supposed to just look cool, there's got to be a lot of clips. If it's an 11-second ad like this one right here, I would say there's got to be 5-6 clips in that 11 seconds. It's got to be fast. And with this, we got 2, 3, 4. It's not bad. 5 clips. I would say, though, it could actually do a lot more. Like, okay, we got 3 seconds of the feet. I think you can still have, if you love Super Mario, you're going to love these Piranha Plant Slippers. Like, obviously, have it read out the whole text, which is probably going to be 3 seconds. But with that, you can show 3 different usage of this and have it in different backgrounds. Have it with you wearing outside. Have a full body shot of the whole influencer, not just clips of your feet out and exposed. I mean, geez Louise, you could sell that video for 20 grand a month on onlyfeet.com. So you guys better give me a like on this video, because I mean, that is 20 grand worth of OnlyFans right there. But we get to the rest of the video, and obviously putting it into the pot, showing it in the pot. I don't think those clips are very good. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. I would say if you're trying to sell a slipper, show yourself wearing the slipper. Show it in different areas. Show yourself walking. Show yourself skipping. Show yourself happy. Show yourself, I don't know, around your dogs or around your family. Like, there can be a lot of interesting ways you show it off. And then with this influencer, I think the problem I had with her is she used the same clips again from each ad. So all the ads felt very similar. So now we're putting on, oh my gosh, money shot. Am I right, fellas? But yeah, I mean, it just feels a little lackluster. I feel like there's much better ways you can do the slipper angle that really catches people's attention. So I would say here, let's see what the hook is, because the hook is going to be very, very important. Let's see.
If you were anything like me, you grew up playing Super Mario. I
would say that's a pretty good hook.
Found these Piranha Plant Slippers, and they are so comfortable, so cute, and I wear them every day.
Good walking shot. Again, that would love a full body look of like how this pairs with an outfit or something. And I think this ad actually would really work. Now, what are the main reasons why a UGC ad that you ordered did not end up being good? Well, I would say it starts a lot of times with not giving enough information to the influencer. So on your part, you have to make it as easy as possible by giving them an exact script, word for word, of what you want the influencer to say. You can obviously add another layer to that by saying, hey, for this line, this is the scene you need to film, and then obviously give them ad inspiration, because a lot of bad ads will just have no script, they'll have no really good hook, bad benefits, and this lack of direction really leads to a bad ad. But when it comes to the influencer, what can the influencer themselves do to make a bad ad? It really boils down to two things: lack of enthusiasm and just doing boring clips, not showing off the product in the best possible light, just doing the bare minimum, and a lot of times reusing clips from one ad to the next ad. So when we reviewed this ad right here for this skin scrubber, I have given the exact script to this influencer, they had the exact words, and I actually believe because I gave the exact script to this influencer, it ended up being their downfall, because they really sound like they're reading off a script. So let's just see real quick. And I don't want to bash this influencer. Again, she's working on her craft, and we're actually still working with this person. She's gotten a lot better. But this was the first product we ever sent out to her. So let's just see what she came back with.
To double the effects of your skincare routine, use this skin scrubber for 3 to 5 minutes a day and get glowing skin. Removes dirt and oil from your pores, leaving you with a radiant, smooth complexion. Give it a try. You'll thank me later.
Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. What is bad about that ad? There's no enthusiasm. It just sounds like a script. Again, and this is a big thing I've been communicating with my UGC content creators over the last month or two when I've been training them. Enthusiasm is everything. It's gotta feel like this is really a product that you have wanted your whole entire life. This has got to be like a Christmas moment. Does this feel like a Christmas moment to you?
Want to double the effects of your skin?
Want to double the effects of your skincare routine? Well, this unclogs your pores and cleanses everything.
No. What is that? It's bad. And hey, you know, you got to have meetings. And if you're not giving feedback to your influencers, they obviously don't know this. And again, because I personally like to work with influencers that are a bit new, you got to give them this feedback. It's great for everyone. And if they can't take constructive feedback and they take it as an offense, then okay, you got to part ways, and then you'll find someone that can take it. But outside of the enthusiasm, let's go through the clips right here so we can see her using the product. So that's pretty cool with me. Good clips. Are they edited very fast? No, I would say this clip is way too long. We're like, how long is this clip right here? 6 seconds. All right, I would cut right here after like a second and a half. But it goes on and it goes on and it goes on, and then we cut after like 3 seconds, and it's too boring. So again, with the editing, your influencers too gonna need a lot of help with their editing, and you gotta give them that feedback. So again, we show, okay, the product and stuff like this. So again, it's not the best in the world. It would need a lot of work. And usually when you're working with a creator, the main things that they're going to be bad at is going to be that enthusiasm level at first. So you got to really train them on that by giving them examples of what they should be aiming to do. Now, my last point to keep this video positive: how do you get great UGC content? Well, I would say the main thing to focus on if you're filming your own content or you're working with an influencer is always going to be that enthusiasm. The video's got to feel authentic. Again, you might have to tone it up a little bit if you're naturally like monotone and, hey guys, I'm reviewing this new phone case I got. It's the bee's knees. I'm obsessed with this because that line hasn't been said enough. You can't do that. You have to turn it up a notch, and it really does need to feel like this is a product you've been waiting for months. Like, oh my God, guys, I'm absolutely obsessed with this phone case. Let me show you it. But there's definitely a strict line because you have to seem like it's authentic. So again, in order to do that, you have to study inspiration out there. There are so many accounts on TikTok that review products every single day that you can look at for inspiration that have the right balance between authentic, entertaining, and have a great call to action all inside of one. And obviously the other things that make a great UGC ad on TikTok is making sure the ad is vertical, that it is fast paced. There's got to be a lot of clips. TikTok is very fast. So even when you're saying a line in your script that might take 3 seconds to say, there should be 2 or 3 clips said within that voiceover line to keep people interested, because TikTok is so fast-paced. The editing matters so much. Music choice is obviously big too. You want to use trending sounds. You can use tickboard.com. You can just go upload your ad onto the TikTok platform and see what music pops up. But obviously the most important things will always be the enthusiasm and just great acting in general. So when you put it all together, it should look something like this. And obviously there's room for improvement with all the influencers that I've worked with and the ones that you're going to work with. So with this ad, I would say the clip usage could be a little more entertaining, but just listen to the enthusiasm of the voiceover.
So I just got this in the mail and I am so excited to share it with you guys. It's seriously the cutest humidifier I've ever seen.
The cutest?
And it makes strange sounds. The best part is that I can finally breathe better, so you guys should try it out.
Enthusiasm is great in that ad. Like I said, for clip usage, if I'm going to be critical, definitely zoom in, have different backgrounds. It can't just be one boring background on a table. But when you put all these tips in practice, you are going to make great UGC for whatever product you're selling.